Hi guys, it's Syama Meagher here, CEO of Scaling Retail, and today we are talking about what's happening with COVID-19 and your small business. Now, we recently published in our newsletter 7 different steps and things that you can do to start to look at in order to protect your business during these uncertain times. The first thing right now is we're seeing the SBA starting to offer loans at very low to zero interest rates. We're going to start to see some additional economic stimulus packages roll through from the government. Guys, this is your time to draw down on your line of credit to make sure that you have cash flow ready to cover expenses internally for the next 3 to 6 months, as well as being able to cover those costs of your employees. Now, some employees may have to take temporary pay cuts. You might be looking at temporary layoffs, but this is definitely the time to stay strong and to look at what the economic advantages and opportunities are for you during this time as well. So the second thing, to piggyback off of the economic advantages, right now is a great time to be leveraging all of the great terms and relationships that you have with your potential vendors. You're going to want to be able to take a step back and say, where can I extend different payment terms to my customers? And where might I also be able to ask for extended payment terms? These are obviously extenuating circumstances. And right now, in a global way, we are all in it together as we're looking to have our small businesses survive during this time period. So take a look at terms. I think that's really important. The next thing is to take a look at yardage and other raw goods. That's going to be very important as you try to find ways of being able to reinvest into your business for the long run. We all know this is going to be an economic hit for us. The question is really how long, and are you going to be able to weather this storm, but also can you take advantage of these opportunities? So here's a great example. If you know that you're buying bulk yardage because you use this primary fabric through most of your collections, you're definitely going to want to be able to take advantage of negotiating and getting some better rates on those raw materials. That is going to be really important for you, especially if you're looking at introducing this into your collection season after season. Now, when you're thinking about the labor market and you're thinking about how things are going to shift, we're going to see an abundance of labor on the market. We're also going to see how work shifts. A lot more of these fractional and distributed workforces are going to become more and more common. Now, why is that important? Well, as you're looking to see how your existing business operations might be able to work from home, as you're looking to see the way in which you might be able to tap into global pools of talent, because now you're not able to necessarily have people in an office. This is going to force our labor market and the way that we do business to be far more creative than we have in the past, which I think honestly is something that is refreshing in terms of how we look at labor and how we look at work in general. Now, as we're thinking about your current inventory matrix and what you might have in stock, please don't put everything on sale. I've been seeing a lot of misinformation going out there saying this is the time to slash prices, this is the time to mark everything down. This is actually not the time to do that. In fact, people who are quarantined are likely going to be purchasing and shopping and buying things. They may not necessarily be buying high-end luxury items at this point in time because they're waiting to see how the market may stabilize. Doesn't mean they're not going to be buying luxury items in the next 3 to 4 weeks or in the next 1 to 3 months. It's simply a matter of when, not if. And so as you're looking at your current inventory position, take stock of not only obviously what you have in stock, what you might have coming in through customs that you may not be able to have access to, and start to mitigate and take some better direction based on where you think you might have the most opportunity. Please don't slash and put everything on sale. I think you'd be taking a huge unnecessary hit to your margins at this point in time. Whatever it is you mark on sale, chances are it's not going to be able to cover all of your expenses. Even if you do get a high sell-through, you might end up diluting the business and the brand name. And honestly, guys, I just don't think that's worthwhile. The next thing is to cut a lot of non-essential activities and really double down and focus on what your brand does well. That means communicate through Instagram, communicate through whatever mediums and platforms that your customer base is used to seeing you at, and say something and do something. The businesses today that are not addressing what's happening in the world are not the ones who are opening up to authentic and transparent communication with their customer base and with their audience base. We all know what's going on today. The fact that people aren't talking about it more openly on their business channels means that they're not prepared to have open and authentic conversations with their customers. This is a time in a sense of community. This is a time in a sense for us to rise up, to have a sense of leadership. And all of you guys out there who have small businesses, this is the time to double down and say, what can I do today to protect my business for the next 3 to 6 months and ultimately for the future? Now, a lot of small businesses who were producing in China when there were threats of tariffs and a lot of economic uncertainty in terms of negotiations just a few months ago on tariffs, a lot of you guys had already started to send your manufacturing to other parts of the world. A lot of our clients did the same thing. We were very happy with that. Now we're starting to see another extenuating circumstance in regards to manufacturing in China. Those of you guys who are still questioning, what can I do today in terms of manufacturing, sourcing, supply chain operations, we will be hosting 2 different webinars hosted by Scaling Retail. We're going to have multiple different panel members coming on board from the sides of legal, HR, supply chain, finance, and internal and external financing in order to help answer a lot of your questions. So the first webinar we have is coming up March 20th. The next one is March 27th. Guys, please make sure that you stay tuned to our Scaling Retail newsletter. We'll be continuously doing updates on how we think you can be mitigating this crisis, and then also giving you the RSVP links so you can attend these webinars. In the meanwhile, we are also opening up our 2-hour strategy sessions for people who are wondering what they need to do right now to protect their business. What are the right types of loans they should be looking at? How should they be reinvesting their dollars? And how do they need to be thinking about opportunities during this time? Product extensions, looking at diversifying, becoming a lifestyle brand. Lots of different opportunities here beyond just mitigating the crisis that many of you guys can take advantage of. So please send me an email at shama@scalingretail.com. So that's SYAMA @scalingretail.com. Myself and Seppi, my assistant, will be getting back to each of you guys to be able to help coordinate and find the best time to help you facilitate growth and protect your business during these troubling times. All right, guys, that's all from me here today. Ending on a somber note, but please be safe, protect your loved ones, stay optimistic, protect your mental health, and stay tuned for these webinars. Talk to you soon.